Still dealing in the present. How much money flows in and out of your life every single day? Keep track. Keeping track of every cent that flows in and out of your life. Every cent. In other words, what this step is about keeping track of every penny that flows in and out of your life. Another way of saying that is that you have to keep track of every cent that flows in and out of your life. Now, it took me about 11 seconds to cover that. You know, the unfortunate thing is that this is what people remember from the talk. Remember earlier I said, you know, I really detest it when people, oh yeah, that talk, that's the one in which you gotta keep track of every cent flowing in and out of your life. 11 seconds, by now 23, out of an 8-hour day, and that's what people remember. I guess because it's so outrageous to so many people. I didn't say every dollar. I don't care if you're a 30 or 50 or 100,000 a year person. I'm talking about every penny. Why every penny? Instead of rounding it off to the nearest dollar. How big is a finagler's constant? How big is a fudge factor? How close is close enough? Once we start fudging, once we start cheating like that, hey, meaningless. This happens to be a superb spiritual discipline. What is this stuff? Your life energy. That's all it is. So what am I asking you to do? To be here now and pay attention to the use and the flow of your life energy. How simple. Spiritual teachings in a penny. How can you ever look at a penny again without remembering your spiritual highest? That's all it is. If you didn't exist, neither would it. A third of your life is spent messing around with this stuff. How do you do that? How do you keep track of every penny? The badge of anybody who's been to this program is a little book. Now, everybody's waiting for the scam. Everybody's waiting for what's he really in it for? What's he going to sell us? Wrong. I don't sell these. There is no official little book. It's wonderful how our minds work. We're looking for what is the catch. No, as a matter of fact, I got these 5 years ago, a whole stack of these for free from your very own Canadian Imperial Bank of Commerce. And I'm not giving them a plug. I don't even know if they're still in business. But they gave me a little book. So there is no special little book. And every time a penny comes in or out of your life, you write it down. You write it down with a category. With a category that describes the entry or exit of that penny accurately. And a category that reflects your particular lifestyle. And I'll be dealing a lot more with that. So you're walking down the block and you see a penny in the ground. What do you think you do? You put your foot on it, you take out your little book, open the third page, take out the penny, put it in the pocket, and write it down. That's it. And if you're a generous type and all of a sudden you notice a bum a few feet away and you toss the penny to him, you take it out again. And you say, gave bum 1 penny. Not just, well, they cancel each other out. That game doesn't pay off. You write it down. I've actually heard that one.
Oh, I've got all the figures in my little book. I just haven't gotten to put them on the big piece of paper.
Now, when I say categories that depict your particular lifestyle, I mean categories that fit your particular lifestyle. They really are about your life. Now, in other words, it isn't food, clothing, shelter. No. Under food, you have to devise your own subheadings. By that I mean this. All right, there's some basic groceries, your everyday food at home, food that you eat at home. Okay, so let's call that at home. Now, maybe you really enjoy going out to restaurants. Okay? Well, that ain't just food. I mean, for value received, that's a lot more. So you got to list your restaurant meals, expenses. All right, now you may be into the latest health foods, okay, and to handle the boredom of that, you may be into counterbalancing with junk foods. It's about telling the truth, you see, really telling the truth. And there may be another category of entertainment. See, at home, dinner parties, if you want to call them. That happens to be one of my categories. I enjoy breaking bread with other people. So there's rare a night that we don't have a couple of people over for dinner. Nothing fancy. I mean, the chandelier and the glassware and whatever. I'm not talking, just whatever we're going to eat, we share with other people. And that is one of my ways of enjoying. So that would have to be a separate category. Now, it doesn't mean that, there I am at the dinner table and, oh, another potato? There are ways around that are more polite. But the way we can work around that is when we come home with the groceries for that day, since we have to do kind of a breakdown of what is household, that toilet paper stuff. And I mean, grocery stores sell a lot more than groceries nowadays. So we have to do some kind of breakdown. And in the process, we can also do an approximate breakdown. If normally this would, this is made to serve 6 people, Now, when I keep on saying approximately, I want to point something out. That the grocery bill came to $14.88. I guess more accurately, $84.88. Don't want to be caught off base on little stuff. Okay. Now, we estimate out of that. Well, just looking at what we got here, about $20 was household. And let's see, the other $64.88, the guest, we're having 4 guests for dinner. All right, there's 4 of us, so that's 8. All right, so about half of the rest of the food for tonight. So let's call that 20. And, and then the rest is just normal food. So 40 from 84, 88, 44.88. There you are. You're absolutely accurate to the penny in terms of the net result, total of it. But those breakouts can be approximations. So under entertainment, you put 20. Under household, you put another 20. And then under regular food, you put 44.88. Okay? That's how it operates. And it can be done very quickly. It isn't like you're putting out all the cans. That can be fun too, but that's not what we're doing. Every category has to be that way. So under shelter, it may not be enough to just write, a figure. A certain amount, if you're paying off your house, a certain amount is going to interest. Usually a humongous amount. It may be important to list that separately and how much is going to equity. I don't want to get controversial, but if you're into bringing your secretary to the motel, put that down under shelter or under recreation, either one. It's about telling the truth. And recreation is a wonderful category to tell the truth in. You see, in our languaging, once again, we have some clues. How many people have you seen recreated? How many people have you seen wrecked? It's a very, very pleasant and easy way for people to get in touch with the fact that they're alcoholics. You're a great audience. I get laughs even when it's not a funny line. I love it. It's true, when I was doing the personal counseling, the guy would come in with his sheet accurately done and so on, and there would be, $247.16, under booze. And I'd look at him, he'd look at it, and he'd look at me. I wouldn't have to say a word. He'd be in AA the next week. Especially when you compare it to his food bill over here. So it's about breaking it down. See, if you're into recreational substances, it may be the fancy stuff that you impress your friends with and the rock gut that you use yourself. That has to be the breakdown, because they're really two different things. One is to impress people, and the other one is just to consume yourself. So that kind of breakdown that reflects your specific lifestyle. Under clothing. I love the way people just want to have these generic categories. Clothing, yeah, everything is clothing. There may be job costuming. There may be recreational costuming. Your leather. I'm into motorcycles. I have to wear a leather jacket. I don't know what you're laughing about. It may have to enter your glitter suit that you wear to the disco and you just paid, 3 weeks salary for. Or fetish clothing. By that I mean there really is such a category, and it's not what you were tittering about. People get very attached to one particular thing of clothing, and it becomes their thing. So somebody who's modest expenditures in every other category, you look at the bottom of the closet, and it's got 223 pairs of shoes. 2 dresses, 2 shirts, and 243 pairs of shoes. That's what's considered a fetish item. Somebody else has, as a matter of fact, that tie was given to me by a fellow that had something, 400 ties. He collected ties. That was his particular fetish item. Okay. Every category. Going down invent your own categories. That's critical. Find out how it is that you're putting out that life energy. Now comes really brutal stuff. At the bottom of each one, it may take a couple of months for you to really devise the categories that are very, very explicit to you. Now, you have a figure at the bottom of each of these columns. Okay, so over here we got 8488, the famous 8488 on your food bill, and so on, all the way down. That's an abstraction. You can get away with that because it's totally an abstraction. It's this thing like this, 2 zeros on top of each other, 2 circles, and then it's a couple of sticks, and then it doesn't mean anything to you. It's just money. It doesn't mean anything. There's no direct interaction with it. It's just a number. That's why budgeting doesn't work. Because there's no relationship. There's no realness. Until you try this, you have to believe me on that. But now we can make this very real. And here's where it gets brutal. Translate that to hours of life energy. Remember that example before? you came out with, in that example, that you're trading your life energy at $2 an hour. Okay, so 42 hours, we can round off on this, 42 hours of your life energy went into acquiring the stuff in this category. Oh boy, we're getting real now. No exaggeration. You look at your booze bill, the famous $216 booze bill, okay, and 108 hours went into that booze bill. Oh my God, and all I got was hangovers. Oh, blah, blah, blah. That glitter suit, 34 hours. Oh my gosh. All right, it's at this point that the mantra comes in. No judgment. You're just telling the truth about it. So all that uproar, all that stuff that's happening for you, when you realize that you put in 52 hours for that, and you got nothing that you can now look back of value. This gets hard. And it should. Because you're finally getting real about money. Now money has a reality. It's linked to your life. It's your life energy. That's all it is. Now there's nothing wrong with spending your life energy. You're going to have to one way or the other. They ain't stopping time for you. So it may be a very appropriate way. After you've got that translated into hours at the bottom of each column, then you ask yourself that question of each column. Did I get value? Commensurate. In line with my expenditure of life energy. Was that worth 42 hours to me? If you come up with the answer no, great. It's not about condemning yourself. It's about putting some kind of symbol, some kind of cute symbol at the bottom of that column. Way at the bottom of that month's page. One symbol that I grew up in recommended is simply a $sign with a slash through it. That's all. That you weren't getting value for that exchange of life energy. If, on the other hand, you weren't getting value because there wasn't enough life energy put into that. On your booze bill, you look at your list for wine. Oh, God. I would have enjoyed brand name stuff instead of generic wine. I'd like to see that increased. Okay, so you can put arrowhead up at the bottom of that you would like to actually see that category increased. This is important. This is not about budgeting. It's not about depriving yourself. It's about seeing, are you getting fulfillment from the hours of your precious juice that you're spending on this category? If you're not, a symbol, simply a symbol, that lets you at a glance see that in this category you're not getting value. It doesn't feel good. Or a symbol that I would like to increase, and I would feel much better. I would get much more fulfillment if I up my expenditure money in this category. Fine. So, the first question to ask in this tabulation, am I getting fulfillment commensurate, in proportion to my expenditure of life energy? Second question, and now it gets really hairy. Remember, back there in the first half we talked about purpose and doing some effort at defining what your life, the vision for your life, or purpose for your life. About 30% of you said that what your life was about was higher purpose. Another 15% said it's about contributing to others. That's good. That's fine. Good. All right. How is that expenditure of life energy in alignment with your stated purpose? Let that one sink in. It's a heavy one. How is that expenditure of life energy in alignment with what you say your life purpose is? Oh yes, I'm about serving others. 108 hours in a booze bill, huh? And it's about serving others. Tell me about it. Come on. Okay, now, if you find that a lot of these categories are not in alignment with your stated life purpose, if you find it very difficult to match spending, X thousands of dollars on this gorgeous house overlooking this gorgeous lake and so on, while you're still proclaiming that your life is about serving others and serving God or contributing or blah, 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 and if you in your heart of hearts, oh boy, I'm full of shit. Well, great. One of the two has to change because you can't have fulfillment. You're not in alignment. It's linking it all up. You see that? You're not in alignment. One or the other, either your stated purpose or what's happening here in reality is a lie. There's no alignment. Now, it's okay if you change your purpose. If you tell the truth. All right, really, my purpose is to live high on the hog for as long as I can. And to hell with everybody else, and I don't care how many people in Ethiopia starve as I spend $5,000 on a sofa. That's all right, that's fine. That's the truth. Okay, now you're in alignment. That's the truth. I'm not interested in moralizing, I'm interested in that alignment. Now it's in line. Or you have to say, holy smokes. No wonder people drop out of the program after a couple of months. This is a rough one. Nothing here looks like... Oh my God, I'm a total phony. Nothing is aligned. I mean, yeah, my food bills are the only thing. And even then, I'm feeling guilty about the Twinkies. Then remember the mantra, no judgment. It's just about telling the truth. That's a starting point. So fine, in each of those categories where it's not in alignment, and even your wonderful rationalizing mind can't rationalize that really spending all those hours of life energy on this category, totally out of alignment, I can't even rationalize them into alignment. Great. At the bottom of that column, you put some symbol like the $ sign or slash through it. And that's all. If, on the other hand, you look at a category, here I say my life is about zilch, and hardly any expense in that categories that reflect the zilch, fine, great, the arrowhead pointing up, or some other symbol. This is now getting into the heart. Step 4. This is step 4. Step 3 is the tabulation itself. Step 4 is those questions, asking those questions. There's one more question to ask of that monthly tabulation. If you didn't have to work for money, if you had a source of income separate from your work, if you could be doing the work that you want to be doing in the world, work in alignment with what your stated purpose in life is, thus you did not depend upon your work for money, what would that category look like? So obviously your job costuming category, possibly the work food category, etc., would drop out. Estimate that. Estimate. One of the few times I'll say, just estimate what kind of lowering that would make for your monthly expenses. And just jot down a notation at the bottom of that month's tabulation. My total, if you're total, and of course you're totaling all of this up, so your total monthly expense, you also have categories for income, pound pennies, so on. Most little ladies, whatever. So, you've got a total monthly income category, and then you subtract one from the other. And hopefully, since you're working this to every penny, what you got left over in your wallet and your checking account will balance precisely with that remainder, with that difference. So in this step, 3 questions. Crucial, the heart. Not more important than any other step. Every step is equally important. But in a sense, this is getting to the heartthrob of the whole program. Those three questions. How am I getting fulfillment commensurate with, in proportion to, my expenditure of life energy? Forget money. It's life energy. Second, is expenditure of this life energy in alignment with what I say or suspect or I'm beginning to think my life is about? And third, what would this category look like when I achieve financial independence? Which is defined very simple. It's having an income separate from, an income that supports you at the level that you're comfortable with, separate from whatever it is you're doing in the world.